make any more noise before
We could if you really wanted us to. I'm sorry.
I can sing.
Good morning, everyone. This is Right Time Radio.
And if you're not awake, you are
You
now.
are now, and we're so sorry. We were shuffling with the headphones and trying to get
I
things.
need a headset. I need a headset.
I've got to hear what is being said. Anyway, I'm Lynn Donovan, and my co-host is here with us, Sue Haas. Hey.
Good morning.
How are you? And in our studio is one of my favorite authors, David Lynn Spencer. Good morning, David Lynn.
Good morning. It's nice to be here again.
Good.
Nice to
I
be
love
back.
having you. We've got you here today because you've got something a little bit different than you normally do, although you've done it before. We'll put it that way. No, David Lynn's written a contemporary, and it's 4 authors who have come together in one book, and the name of the book is Always a Wedding Planner. And so each of you have written some kind of a story about a wedding planner. Am I correct?
That's correct. We've each taken one of the 4 owners of the business called Weddings by Design.
Okay.
We have a dressmaker, the cake baker, the planner, director,
Right.
and the chef, and I'm the chef.
You're the chef. And your chef has a problem. Are we revealing that, or is that a secret?
Well, it will come out. It comes out
True.
at the
In your
beginning,
reading? Okay,
in the
'cause-
reading today. But yeah, each of the 4 women have a problem.
Okay, of
And,
course.
of course,
I was going to say, is it a man?
well, or lack
You
thereof.
know what? I'm hurt.
I'm sorry.
Her chef's problem isn't the man per se. It's,
But each of these women is single. So,
of course.
you know.
So we have a little bit of romance going on
Right,
here, of course. How fun. And this book is available on Amazon, I know, because I found it there. Where else is it available?
You can get it at Target,
Okay. Oh, cool.
Barnes & Noble, Amazon, iBooks.
Okay.
You can get it pretty much anywhere you can get books.
Okay. And then your website as well.
And at my website I have links. So if you go
Okay.
to my website to the books and pull up the book, it'll have a buy link and it gives you all your options.
Nice. Okay.
And the
that's
title
cool.
again?
The title is Always a Wedding Planner. It's kind of playing off of
Always a bridesmaid,
Never
Yeah.
ever bride. That is so cool. And David Lynn's going to share, she's going to read an excerpt from it. So we're going to get to hear a little bit of it. But let me tell you, I actually got this off of Amazon, but I thought it was really interesting because it's about this entire book, the 4-in-1 romance collection. It says, love is only a business for 4 wedding planners. Discover how keeping secrets from each other threatens 4 women's friendship, wedding, business, and own ability to find love in Loveland, Colorado. Business partners Felicity Anderson, the cake baker. Now that's yours, right?
No.
No, that's the baker's
That's
different from the chef.
correct.
She's a chef.
Okay. Kiki Bell, the seamstress, Casey Blackthorn, the coordinator, and Chef Saffron Fair.
Saffron Fair.
Saffron Fair. I love it. I love it. A chef should be named Saffron.
Saffron.
shouldn't they?
Absolutely.
Yes. And, they are best friends in a town that is a romantic wedding destination for many couples who work together as Wedding by Design to make every bride's special day perfect. Could each falling into their own romance be the key to working out their differences and learning to trust each other and God with their futures? Doesn't that sound fun?
I'm ready.
My story of the 4 is the last in the book, and it's called Taste and See.
Okay, go ahead. Let's start reading it, and we'll take a couple of breaks, and then we'll talk some more about this.
All right, thanks. People were nuts. Well, maybe not all people, but for sure Saffron Fair's neighbors, the Pixleys, who stood in her front yard waving their arms at the Loveland Gas Company employee planted firmly on the dying grass. Ronnie parked at the curb. She should have rented a condo or an apartment downtown above a Main Street business, or accepted her mother's invitation to move into the family home. But then she wouldn't have had her kitchen, and she had to have her kitchen. She pushed her floppy sun hat up and rubbed her forehead. Besides, she and her mother would eventually have a meltdown, so that would never work. Too bad the lawn sprinklers didn't pop on right about now. She cringed inwardly at the uncharitable thought, though she wouldn't mind a cool shower herself on this unseasonably warm September afternoon. What was going on? Stepping out of her Subaru, she pressed turquoise sunglasses against the bridge of her nose, hoping for anonymity. But shoot, Mrs. Pixley would recognize her faded gray car. Whatever. She adjusted the umbrella-sized sun hat and approached the threesome. "I'm suffering a raging headache," Mrs. Pixley told the man with a gas company patch on his shirt. "The smell is making everyone at this end of the block sick. You must do something about it." Smell? Ronnie didn't smell anything. And who was everyone? "It's either a gas leak or Fair's eggs are all rotting and about to explode." Mrs. Pixley paused for dramatic effect and pressed her fingers against her temples. "Either way, my head is killing me." Ronnie would match the brick in her own sinuses against Patty Pixley's headache any day of the week, except today. She simply wanted these people to leave. They were trespassing, weren't they? And there were no rotten eggs in the kitchen. She'd disposed of anything perishable before leaving for her mother's birthday cruise. The milk as well, and anything else that would spoil her spotless commercial-class kitchen other than the fish and chicken she had in the freezer. She didn't smell one single rotten thing other than Mrs. Pixley's theatrics. "Excuse me." Ronnie stepped in front of Gasman and pressed her sunglasses tighter against the bridge of her nose. "Why are you here?" Unaffected by her arrival, he gave her a deadpan once-over from straw hat to flouncy skirt to strappy sandals. "Is this your property?" He glanced at his clipboard. "Fair?" The glasses slipped, and she shoved them higher. "Yes." "Your neighbor reported a gas leak, and our readings indicate she's correct." He ripped a paper from the clipboard and handed it to her. "The leak must be repaired ASAP, but it's on your property, on your side of the meter. That means you repair it, not us." "With what, duct tape?"
Yeah.
Mrs. Pixley snorted. Mr. Gas Company didn't even twitch. "You don't smoke, do you?" Ronnie blinked. "No." "Good, I've turned off your gas, but wait a while before turning on electrical switches, lights, or appliances. And don't light any matches. Give the gas time to dissipate." Ronnie needed her quiet pajamas. Not the shorty set covered with brilliantly plumed macaws, but the pale pink set with the matching sleep mask. She needed rest, quiet, solitude. After a crowded 7-day cruise, which her mother had insisted on paying for, she needed all three. Her mother needed a sedative so she wouldn't call Ronnie to plan their next vacation. No, that wasn't fair. Her retired schoolteacher mother needed a husband so he could accompany her on the next trip. Widowed when Ronnie was 13, Francine Fair had put herself on life's back burner while teaching school and raising a headstrong, heartbroken teen who didn't understand why her daddy had died.
Well, that's a really good place to stop and go to commercials. So we will be right back with some more reading of the wedding planner. Let me see. Always a wedding planner. And this one is Taste and See by David Lynn Spencer. Take it away, Tay.
Welcome back to Right Time Radio. Wait, was that my cue, or you,
yes,
I'm not
you're
sure.
waving at me? Or welcome back to Right Time Radio. We always have fun.
We do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
On and off the air.
And yes, and we have David Lynn Spencer with, she's reading for us today, Always a Wedding Planner.
Widowed when Ronnie was 13, Francine Fair had put herself on life's back burner while teaching school and raising a headstrong, heartbroken teen who didn't understand why her daddy had died. Ronnie still didn't understand the whys of cancer, but her mother and grandmother had faithfully demonstrated God's love and care over the years. Now, with a Western-themed wedding to prepare for in the next 4 weeks, Ronnie had a tasting menu to finalize, complete with appetizers and entrees suitable for meat and potatoes guests. The groom had insisted on beef and, well, beef. But her training wouldn't allow her to do anything less than offer a few vegan samples as well. Covering the food and beverages branch of Weddings by Design wasn't exactly a piece of cake. Ronnie's turned to snort at the insider joke. Mrs. Pixley whipped her head around in a dramatic neck-snapping move and stomped down the sidewalk. Her husband followed. Poor man. Right on cue, the sprinkler system semi-surged, demonstrating why the lawn was dying. Ronnie couldn't afford an extravagant water bill, nor could she afford to finish renovating her Victorian home. Not until business picked up. Way up. Every penny from her small business loan had gone into the kitchen, and that commercially licensed kitchen required a licensed plumber to check out the so-called gas leak, followed by inspections from the fire and health departments, each one a potential time sink for holding up her end of Weddings by Design and the last-minute wedding booked in her absence. In the world of wedding planning, 4 weeks out was last minute. Not that she wouldn't be able to complete the menu, but preparing everything at the Weddings by Design house would mean an extra step in the process. And Felicity used the kitchen there for her wedding cake masterpieces. They both needed workspace, and if Ronnie was honest with herself, privacy. She didn't like having an audience while she was cooking, and she suspected Felicity didn't either. Returning to her car, she parked in front of the antiquated garage. Desperate for a coat of paint, it sat closed-mouthed and silent while she got out and hefted 2 overstuffed roller bags from her trunk and up the front porch steps. Gasman didn't hint at where the leak might be, though he'd made it clear it wasn't on his side of the meter. Welcome home. The screen door whined its usual hello, and she let it slap behind her, waiting for a waft of stale air. The old house had been closed up for 10 days, but stale didn't make an appearance. Neither did the sulfur-smelling chemical added to natural gas. Patty Pixley had the olfactory glands of a basset hound, not to mention a sharp pang in Ronnie's conscience jerked her up short. Okay, Lord, sorry. In spite of no stuffiness or rotten egg odor, she opened windows in the kitchen and laundry room, then dragged her luggage upstairs to the closet, formally referred to by the realtor as a cozy bedroom. Opening a sash window, Ronnie wedged in a box fan, but didn't turn it on, just in case Gasman was right. She didn't want to go up in a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the shade lingering beneath the honey locust tree outside would seep into her bedroom. It had to be 90 degrees in here. She hoisted her suitcases onto the bed, kicked off her sandals, and freed her hair from its sun hat cage before unzipping her bags and dumping everything into the wicker laundry hamper. A smarter, less distracted woman would have saved herself a little work by taking her luggage straight to the laundry room downstairs. Sheesh. At the landing, she paused and looked over the railing, tempted to drop the basket over the edge. Instead, she once again lugged it down the aging carpet runner that protected the golden oak staircase. The runner's replacement held the last slot at the bottom of her hopeful renovations list, pinned to a corkboard in the kitchen. Sunflowers greeted her from a side table at the base of the stairs, and her heart lifted by a degree. The giant silk faces never drooped. They always looked bright and happy in their vintage cowboy boot. The softest doe-skin boot with the yellow tulip inlay was one of her better flea market finds. In fact, the sunflowers had cost more than the antique boot, the only thing even remotely Western in her entire house and heart. She had some serious research to do before prepping samples for the Gardner-Mitchell wedding in October. Cool kitchen floor tiles set off a rippling effect that worked its way from the soles of her feet, up her legs, and into her back and arms. Life was good, mostly. She had a job she loved, appliances that worked, and sunflowers to cheer her. A glance at the black-lettered barnwood board over the marble counter reminded her of the greatest blessing in her life. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. So was being home in her own house, anticipating a relaxing bath in the old clawfoot tub upstairs. But first, an Arctic blast from her reach-in freezer. She pulled the door open and stopped. Pale pink water pooled beneath dripping packages of chicken, fish, beef, and pork, none of which bore signs of being frozen. No frosty breath, no ice crystals glistening from stainless steel shelving, no smell of rotting meat. How can I not smell this? Something was definitely wrong and had been for quite some time. She'd paid the electric bill before she left for the cruise, hadn't she? Not prone to tears in the face of disaster, Ronnie swiped at eyes that were brimming as quickly as the pools collecting on the bottom of the freezer. She slammed the door shut and ran back upstairs for her phone. She not only needed to call the power company, but she needed a plumber, and pronto. She needed her appliances and what had been stocked in the freezer, all of which must now be replaced. Dollar signs pushed more tears between her lashes. 30 minutes later, she lay in the middle of her quilt-topped brass bed, shell-shocked over the prices quoted by every licensed plumber she could find in Larimer County. "Lord, please," she whispered, "help me." From atop his horse, Tapper, Ty Ellicott backed the gelding into the roping box. The horse's eyes and ears fixed on the 260-pound calf waiting to run from the automatic spring-loaded roping chute. Ty bit down on the piggin string between his teeth and tucked his tail in his belt, hit the remote control, and squeezed his boot heels into Tapper. The calf ran out, and the gelding leaped from the box, hard on its heels, as it ran for the opposite end of the arena. Ty swung his loop, and it settled over the calf. Bailing off Tapper's right side, he ran down the stiff line, pulled taut, as his horse backstepped against the calf at the other end. He grabbed the calf by the neck loop and flank, laid it on its side, and yanked his piggin string from his belt for a quick wrap and a half hitch around 3 legs. As if a timer awaited his signal, he threw his hands in the air and stepped back from the calf. Not the fastest gun in the West, but it wasn't about a quick time. It was all about the poly nylon ropes and piggin strings he made and how they handled. He wasn't in business to win a rodeo buckle or a world championship. He was in it to make the world's best ropes for those who did.
All right, we got to take another commercial break, and we'll be back for a little bit more of this reading, and then we're going to talk more to David Lynn about what all's going on in her Arthur world.
Whatever.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Sue.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Right Time Radio.
Should have had David Lynn do it. That would have really
You
confused
should.
everybody.
We should have.
Let's have
Next
David
time
Lynn
we'll
bring
have
it back.
David Lynn do it. This is Right Time Radio. We are here with Lynn Donovan, me, Sue Hawes, and David Lynn Spencer.
We are.
Reading
here.
from her newest book, right?
Right, Taste and See, a novella in the collection, Always a Wedding Planner.
Right.
And take it away, because I'm interested.
Ty wasn't in business to win a rodeo buckle or a world championship. He was in business to make the world's best ropes for those who did. His belt buzzed. He set the calf free, and it trotted off toward the turnout gate. He walked back to his horse and coiled the rope. It felt good in his hands. Good weight, good strength. His phone buzzed again. Flipping open the hand-tooled case on his belt, he checked the caller ID. Casey Lander. Man, it'd been a while. He swung up in the saddle. "She finally kick you out?" Lander laughed. He'd married his high school sweetheart in February and had been disgustingly happy ever since. Ty didn't know whether to throw up or throw a punch at his friend. But either way, late afternoon on a Thursday was out of character for a phone call from him. "Cindy's got a friend who needs a licensed plumber and is cash-strapped." "Of course." "Since you helped us out last spring with that leak in the basement, she insisted I call you. New wife and all, you know how it is. I promised I'd ask if you could help." No, Ty didn't know what new wife and all was like. He turned Tapper back and let the other 2 calves out, then rode to the end of the arena and opened the turnout gate. Handyman wasn't a title he'd choose for himself, but he seemed to have a knack for it. Even as a kid, he'd fix things for his folks, grandparents, aunts, neighbors, which all led to a plumber's license and a tidy side business. Between twisting ropes, feeding calves, and living on his own time schedule, life wasn't too bad. It was just lonely. What's he need and where does he live? Thanks, man. I owe you. Oh, more than you know. Ronnie Fair on 5th Street. Gas leak on the property, so the utility company is no help. I can check it out in the morning and leave an estimate, but it'll cost you a pan of Cindy's lasagna with a side of spumoni ice cream. Deal. Casey let out a happy sigh, that disgusting sound made by a man who knew his wife would be pleased.
Oh, that's great. I'm sorry, that's all the time we have
I'm sorry, I'm offended.
to read.
Except the lasagna.
The lasagna.
I can deal with the
Lasagna would be good payment, I think.
Especially a pan of it.
Yeah.
And spumoni ice cream.
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
that's why they have a lasagna. I won't turn down the ice cream.
David Lynn, this Friday is First Friday. Are you going to be at the Kaleidoscope?
Well, I'm already scheduled for Tailored West.
Okay.
First Friday.
So you'll
book
be
signing.
across the street or down the street.
And yes, a block down. And one of the other authors in this collection is
Nice.
also going to be there, R.L. Ashley.
Good. I'll come down and say hello.
That would be great.
I'm going to be at the Kaleidoscope. I know we've got Russell Chase, Tracy Beach. We may have Miss McNew, Carol McNew.
Great.
She's going to try to come by. So I think we've got about 5 authors that are going to be in the
Excellent.
Kaleidoscope. So we'll have to run down and say hello to you too.
It's-
That's the first Friday
Yeah, it's coming
downtown.
up, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Book Friday
Yeah.
in Kenyon.
Exactly.
Weather's
And
supposed to be great.
yeah, so it's going to be fun. And I'm going to try to set up a microphone, and we're going to read some of our books while we're in there
super,
instead of just
super.
sitting back there looking pretty. So
What time will you all be there?
Well, it's like all day. It's all day. So
Everybody's
there's
just
not a
rotating in and
specific
out.
time. Well, not even
First
that.
Friday
I mean, it's
doesn't
just,
start till what? 6-ish?
well,
I'll be at Tailored West 5 to 7.
yeah.
Okay.
Honestly,
Nancy-
like
Nancy
noon
Keys are-
on,
Yeah.
people are starting to do
Yeah.
things, and I think we kind of seem to get there about 3. I know Gene Alfieri's going to be there about 4, so it's
Oh.
just kind of a trickle in. And I know that we stay there till about 7. So depending on the crowd, we may be there till 9.
Right.
Who knows? But
I'm gonna make a
It's-
trip down.
good.
Mainly because the mayor said I am coming down.
Oh, okay. You were voluntold
Yeah,
to go.
It's all right.
Well, we look forward to seeing you.
Could be worse.
And Tay, your voice is going to be at the Rialto this Saturday, right?
It is, yeah.
And what is that about, Miss Sue?
That is the Rialto opening their season with Fremont County Has Talent, a variety show.
Very cool. Fun.
And that is Saturday starting at 7, doors open at 6:30.
Give us an example of what you've
But your
got.
flyer, I'm going to say something. The flyer
Okay.
says 6.
Doors open
Yeah.
at 6?
Can you, Dave Lynn, can you grab that for me? Would you mind just pulling
But
up?
tell
off
us
of
a
there?
little bit
Okay.
about who else.
So we have a world class dancer. We have a teen
Nice.
dancer who is rated among the top 5 in the world. It says 6. Doors open at 6.
So what time do the doors open? Let's clarify that.
The doors open at 6. Well, I'm just the director.
open at 6.
Okay,
Wow.
there you go.
I'm just
All
the
right.
director.
Anyway, so we have any juggling or
we
magic acts? Or?
No, but if you're out there, I want to see you for next year. We have a lot of talented dancers. We have some cowboy poets.
Ooh,
Nice.
that's always cool.
We have cellos. We have ukuleles.
Piano players.
Piano players.
Yeah.
We have a really good variety this year. It's going to
Awesome.
be awesome. You can get your tickets at City Market, Big D's, and online at historicrialtotheater.org.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we got clearance last night during rehearsal that we can sell a full 220 seats.
Nice.
nice.
Wonderful. That makes
Hope
me
it's a
want to
full house.
clap.
That'd be a lot
Me
of fun.
too.
For a full house, everybody. Come out and support all these local talents. We've
Yes.
got from 9 years old.
Wow.
Awesome. That's going to be fun. And join us next week on Right Time Radio. We've got a gal from from Detroit, Michigan. She's going to talk about podcasting.
All right.
All right. Next week. Bye-bye.
We are Royal Gorge Broadcasting, AM 1400 KRLN, Canyon City, Florence, and Penrose.